my channel. Today I have a video for you over all of the subjects that we will be using individually this year. And by that I mean the subjects that will not be group subjects. So I've already done a video on our history, science, geography, social studies, those types of subjects, Bible. And so if you want to see that video, you can go to my channel and check that out. Today I'm going to be going over the subjects like reading, language arts, handwriting, spelling, math, all of those things that we obviously can't do as a group because all of my kids are different ages. And so that's what I'm going to be showing you here in a minute. The main reason why this video has been a little late in coming is because I decided to change some things up this year that I wasn't planning on changing up. And it was kind of a big surprise, and it was a big transition for me because I really liked what we were doing, but I saw that my kids needed a change, that it was, they were struggling, and as much as I loved what we were doing, it wasn't my curriculum, it was what they were doing and what they needed. So the main reason why we switched is because, we switched our language arts and reading and our math. So math, we had been doing Abeka, and I really needed something that was more hands-off for me, to give me time to do other things and focus on other things. And then because of the language art and the language arts and reading, the reason we switched that was because as much, and if you've been a part of my channel for a while, you know that we've been doing Christian Light for language arts and reading. And as much as I love Christian Light, it was a push to get the kids to do it, and I'll tell you why. So if you've ever done Christian Light, each lesson is, they're supposed to do a lesson every single day of the week, and then, every week of the school year. And each lesson is could be 3 to 4 pages front and back. So if you're doing reading and language arts with their curriculum, you're talking about possibly 7 to 8 pages a day of reading and language arts. And the reading does cover some language arts material. Not that it's difficult, and not that they didn't know that they couldn't do it. They could definitely do it. The problem was it was a lot of information every single day. And if we had tried to do it like every other day or split it up, it would have taken us like 2 full years to get through it. So that wasn't an option. I noticed that my kids were struggling with not just having a ton of stuff to do, but remembering, because, they would have a new concept that they would learn each day. And then they would have a bunch of review from other concepts. And it was a lot. And I noticed that they were forgetting some things. And I think it's because they were getting so much information each day that as it was going in, some of it was leaking out the other side. And I know that, even us adults, we can only take in so much information at a time and remember it. And so I wanted to make sure that they weren't missing things. There weren't gaps forming in their education because I was trying to force too much into their brains at a time. My daughter was working on suffixes today, and she's like, "What's a suffix?" And I'm like, "We have done this for the past 3 or 4 weeks or more than that. Contractions too." I'm like, "You should know what these things are. Like, we just did them, Friday, or the last day of the week last week." And so it's like, what is going on? And that's when I really realized, not today, but this has been going on for a while. And that's when I really realized that, okay, they are not, I guess, retaining as much as I thought they were retaining. And sometimes having lots of curriculum for them to go over isn't always the best thing. Sometimes it's better in smaller chunks. And so we've decided to switch what we're doing for language arts and reading. Now, I will say this has nothing to do with the curriculum. I absolutely love Christian Light. And if it was just me making the decision, I'd probably stick with Christian Light. It's very affordable, and the kids have really blossomed under it and learned a lot. But like I said, there's just so much they're learning, and there are things that I've been wanting to add to our curriculum. And I know that if I tried to add at this point any extra reading or writing materials in their day, they would revolt. There's no way that I'm going to be able to even just get them to do something small. So I felt like I had all of these things I wanted to do and I couldn't because of the curriculum that they were using. So I made the really hard decision and decided that we were going to make a change. And we haven't started officially with this new curriculum. We were actually finishing up the CLE that we had left. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the camera around and I'm going to let you see what all we are doing this year. It won't be a complete flip through. I will do separate videos for that, all of the new stuff. I have some more things I've got to print out, but I do want to show you, what we've kind of picked out and what we're going to be doing. So stick with me and I'll flip you around. Okay, so this is what we've got going on for this year. So I'll just start over here and we'll go to it. Actually, you know what? First, before I go through these books, we are doing teaching textbooks for my third grader and fifth grader. So I've already downloaded that stuff and they've already started it and they really like it and it's working well because they're understanding it and I am not having to sit there and watch them and go over things that maybe they don't understand because it explains everything for them. And so, I'll let you know halfway through the year how that's going, but so far the teaching textbooks is going well. For my youngest son, who is first grade, he is still doing his Abeka 1. And let me see if I can grab that out real quick for you. I forgot to grab that one out because I forgot he is not doing teaching textbooks. So he is doing his Arithmetic 1 with Abeka, and he is just going to stick to doing that because it works really well for him. And it's not a whole lot of it's not a whole lot of work for me as far as heavy lessons. We know that this kind of math at this point isn't too overwhelming. But obviously my son who's getting into fifth grade math, it's a little bit harder to explain certain things and we were getting frustrated. And so I thought maybe if something else or someone else was teaching him, he wouldn't fight me so much. And so the next thing I'm going to show you is basically our language arts, reading and handwriting. And sorry about this video. I'm trying to hold it and move around at the same time. Okay. Handwriting. We've been doing handwriting without tears. But I wanted them to have a little bit more practice with their handwriting, so they're all going to be using the Abeka handwriting, and but their levels are going to be a little bit different. Whereas this is writing with phonics, cursive level 1, which is typically first grade. This is actually for my fifth grader, and the reason is he doesn't need the phonics work, but he's still kind of beginning ish for cursive, and so I felt like this was just enough that it would give him a lot of good practice, but it wouldn't be a ton of handwriting because he's not a big fan all the time of writing. And so that will be his handwriting. Let me put this down here. My third grader is going to be doing writing with phonics K5. Once again, this is part of their kindergarten package, but that's just more because of the phonics part. She doesn't need the phonics part, but you can see it's got quite a bit of cursive practice. She hasn't started cursive, and that was another thing too. I wanted to make sure that we started out slow with cursive, and we had the bigger spaces, because when you move up, at least through Abeka, they get a lot. Let me take you to one. They get a lot smaller. You can see how they're a little bit smaller there. And then once you move up to the set level 2, it's even smaller. And so she definitely needs the space. And like I said, this starts out very slow and there's a lot of repetition, which is good. I didn't want it to be overwhelming to begin with. And then my youngest, he's just going to continue working with manuscript. And this is what his handwriting book looks like. So that's what they will be doing for handwriting. Sorry, I didn't mean to flop that down. That was a little loud. Okay. let's go ahead to my youngest's reading and writing, or language, I guess, and language arts and reading curriculum. So we are doing IEW's Primary Arts of Language Reading and Primary Arts of Language Writing. This is a package deal here that I got. You don't have to get both of these. You can get one or the other. They have lots of different combinations. You can get, like I said, you can get like one or the other. There's an even more, I think this was like $150, but there's an even more expensive package where everything's printed out for you. I opted to get some printed and sent to me, and then some I will print out myself. But that is what we were doing. The Primary Arts of Language Reading will come with the audio disc. This is the teacher's manual. This is the phonetics games and the phonetic farm. Now there's some readers to download and print out, and there's some workbooks. And so when I go through this in detail, I will have all that material and show you that. And then here's the Primary Arts of Language Writing with another audio CD, teacher's manual, and then their program uses All About Spelling. And so it comes with the interactive kit and the tiles. You've got the student packet that comes with all of that stuff, and then the teacher's manual. And this All About Spelling, we've used that before, so it's a pretty easy, straightforward curriculum to use. So that's what he's going to be using. So he will be doing the Abeka for math, the Abeka for handwriting, and then IEW for phonics or reading and language arts. The next thing I'm going to do is show you, okay, so my oldest son, my 5th grader, we are going to be doing Language Lessons for a Living Education. This is level 5 by Master Books, and I will take you through this later, but this is just what it says. It's language arts, but there is spelling included in this. There is some phonics work. There is writing involved, and so he will be doing that. But I'll see if I can show you. The thing that I like about it is, so when you start each lesson is considered a week. So lesson 3 would be week 3, and so it is kind of divided up into days. So this is exercise 1. So you read the story and you have that, and that's day 1. And then here's day 2 and day 2, and there's a little bit more on this one. That one's a little bit longer lesson. Here's day 3 and day 3. So you can see that for the most part, the lessons are very short. And also the 5th lesson is always spelling. But we are going to do something a little bit different than doing spelling on day 5 because we only schooled it 4 days a week. But like I said, when I go through this I'm going to show you all of that. There's also, this is a favorite Bible stories, 101 favorite Bible stories. I cannot remember if this one uses it. I know that, yes, it does. So this is a required course material that doesn't come with it, but Language 5 uses it, Language 3 uses it, and I know that Language 2 uses it. I'm not sure. Language 1, or Lesson 1, I guess, uses some different books. But so they'll just share that. And then my daughter, her language arts will also be Language Lessons for a Living Education, level 3, and it is the same kind of layout. And like I said, I will take you through all of that. I've got a lot of things that I want to explain about it, so I'm excited to make that video for you. Now, like I said, there is reading comprehension in here, there's spelling in here, there's language arts in here. You know, this is really kind of a full curriculum, but I had told you in the beginning of this video that there were things I wanted to add that I haven't been able to add to our curriculum because they do so much, or they have been doing so much reading and language arts each day. And one of those things was IEW's Fix-It Grammar, and then some of their themed lessons for structure and style in writing. And so even though language arts and reading are typically a an individual subject for us, we are going to be doing Fix-It Grammar and these theme writing books together. And so I will go into those and show you a little bit more. The Nose Tree, Fix-It Grammar is really where they basically focus on a little bit each day and correct sentences from a particular writing. And in these books, in these theme books, which these are basically for grades K to 2, but you can work and use them for a little bit older kids. These go over the keyword outlines, learning how to basically read a material, kind of outline it, summarize it with a few words, and then write it back in your own words. So you really get into teaching kids how to write creatively. You work on writing, essay-based works, research-based works with references, all of that. But obviously at their level, you start out with the beginning. But we have people and places in our community and Bible heroes. Now, each of these books is considered a full year. Let me see if this one, I don't think it. Let me see. There's not a scope and sequence within this book, but there are 7 lessons. And you can see how in this one you talk about the keyword outlining and then writing from the keyword outlines, summarizing narratives, summarizing references, writing from pictures, and creative writing. And so there's 27 lessons, and so that's about 27 weeks because each lesson is usually about a week long. And then in this one, it is 28 weeks. Yes, 28 weeks. And this one, they actually did have a scope and sequence in here. And so you can see it goes all the way to 28. But I will give you more in-depth, an in-depth look at these when I do the individual videos. And I just wanted to say that, like I said before, we didn't have any issues with CLE other than it just being a whole lot for each day. And I really want to focus on their writing. And I felt like I couldn't do that because they were doing so much already. And I didn't want to fight them even more than I was already fighting them. Now, a lot of people, when they use IEW, just use it. And they don't really add in an additional, language curriculum. We are, just because this incorporates spelling and reading comprehension. And so this will be, this will kind of back up what they're learning in here. And that's fine because those are such short lessons. And because we're going to be doing these together and using whiteboards, and I'll explain more of that, I feel like that, it's not going to be a whole lot for them. And we probably won't get through both of these books. I haven't decided which one we're going to do first. We're probably going to start with People and Places in our community and then move on to Bible Heroes. They're both the same level, but, still trying to figure out which one I want to do first. But anyway, that is what we have set up so far for our individual subjects. Sorry about this video being so bumpy. Like I said, I wanted to be able to show you everything, and putting it on a tripod kind of doesn't work that well. I could have, shown you each thing at a time, but I kind of like seeing it spread out too. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comment box below. Like I said, I'm going to go over the language lessons curriculum in a separate video. I'll go over these books in a separate video, Fix-It Grammar, and the PAL curriculum here, and I'll do that all as one video. But like I said, there's stuff I need to print out for these things and print out for these things, and then I'll have all the materials to show you so you can see what all you need. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye.